U.S. President Donald Trump said on February 18 he might meet Russian President Vladimir Putin this month, and dismissed Ukraine's concern about being left out of U.S.-Russian talks in Saudi Arabia on ending the Ukraine war.
And they want a seat at the table. You could say the people have to, wouldn't the people of Ukraine have to say, like, you know, it's been a long time since we've had an election. That's not a Russia thing. That's something coming from me and coming from many other countries also.
Trump said he would not oppose Europeans if they want to send peacekeeping troops to Ukraine.
If they want to do that, that's great. I'm all for it. If they want to do that, I think that'd be fine. I mean, I know France has mentioned it, others have mentioned it, UK has mentioned it, but yeah, if we have a peace deal, I think having troops over there from the standpoint of Europe, we won't have to put any over there because, you know, we're very far away. But having troops over there would be fine. I would not object to it at all.
Trump spoke for the first time since a U.S. delegation established a working dialogue with Russia about Ukraine during talks in Riyadh earlier in the day, also said Ukraine should hold elections. Worldwide News reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Tuesday that Elon Musk will not be involved in any space-related government decisions due to potential conflicts of interest. Responding to questions about Musk's role in his efforts to cut federal spending, Trump clarified that Musk's position in the Department of Government Efficiency would not extend to matters involving space.
Federal Aviation Administration and the Defense Department, agencies that have billions of dollars in contracts with Musk's companies or that directly regulate his companies. How is that not a conflict of interest?
Well, I mean, I'm just hearing about it, and if there is, and he told me before I told him, but obviously I will not let there be any conflict of interest. He's done an amazing job. Any conflicts, I told Elon, any conflicts, you can't have anything to do with that. So anything to do with possibly even space, we won't let Elon partake in that.
The White House had previously stated that Musk would step aside from any conflict between his business ventures and his work in government efficiency, ensuring no overlap between the two. Worldwide News report.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on February 18 that auto tariffs will be around 25%, with more details to come on April 2nd.
Yeah, I probably will tell you that on April 2nd, but it'll be in the neighborhood of 25%.
He also noted that major car and chip companies have approached his administration, suggesting new car plants are likely to be built in the United States.
But that was it. I do want to say while I'm up here, I've been contacted by some of the biggest companies in the world, and because of what we're doing economically and through tariffs and taxes and incentives, they want to come back into the United States. And we'll be announcing various very large companies, the biggest actually, and they'll be coming back, having to do with chips and having to do also with cars and lots of other things.
On February 14, Trump said levies on automobiles would be coming as soon as April 2nd, the day after members of his cabinet are due to deliver reports to him outlining options for a range of import duties as he seeks to reshape global trade. Worldwide News reports.
The U.S. delegation emerged optimistic after initial talks with Russia on Tuesday, aimed at ending the Ukraine conflict. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated that both sides would need to compromise, and future talks must involve the European Union.
In order to bring an end to any conflict, there has to be concessions made by all sides. We're not going to predetermine what those are. We're certainly not going to negotiate this today or in a press conference for that matter. But, and there are other parties that have sanctions. The European Union is going to have to be at the table at some point because they have sanctions as well that have been imposed.
Russian foreign minister described the talks as useful, but firmly rejected the idea of NATO troops in Ukraine, even under non-NATO flags.
Мы объяснили нашим сегодняшним собеседникам, что мы очень хорошо отметили, что президент Трамп в нескольких своих выступлениях первым среди западных лидеров четко сказал, что втягивание Украины в НАТО является одной из главных причин того, что происходит, что это одна из крупнейших ошибок Байдена и его администрации, и что, будь Трамп президентом, он бы такого не допустил.
Ukrainian President Zelensky, surprised by the U.S.-Russia meeting, insisted that Ukraine must be part of any peace process, and postponed his planned visit to Saudi Arabia to avoid legitimizing the talks.
Я переконаний, для України, для нашого регіону і для Європи принципово, щоб будь-які перемовини щодо закінчення війни відбувались не за спиною у ключових суб'єктів, яких зачіпають наслідки російської агресії.
German Chancellor and Polish President both emphasized that Europe must play a key role in any potential peace deal for Ukraine, with the US reaffirming its commitment to maintaining troop numbers in Eastern Europe.
Nie ma obaw przed tym, aby Stany Zjednoczone miały obniżać poziom swojej obecności w naszym kraju, aby Stany Zjednoczone miały w jakikolwiek sposób wycofywać się ze swojej odpowiedzialności czy współodpowiedzialności za bezpieczeństwo tej części Europy.
Klar ist, dass die Europäische Union genauso wie die USA ein Beitrag endlich einer zustande gekommen wäre, leisten müssen. Das darf aber keine Aufteilung der Sicherheit und der Involviertheit zwischen den USA und Europa geben.
Worldwide News Report. China supports all efforts conducive to peace talks in Ukraine, China's Foreign Minister Wang told the United Nations Security Council on February 18th, and stressed that Gaza and the West Bank are not a bargaining chip in political trade-offs.
加沙和约旦河西岸都是巴勒斯坦人民的家园，不是政治交易的筹码。
After Russian and US officials met in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday and agreed to press ahead with efforts to end the war in Ukraine, Wang told the Security Council, China supports all efforts conducive to peace talks.
乌克兰危机延宕即将超过3年，近期寻求对话谈判的趋势在上升。中国从危机发生后就倡导政治解决，坚持劝和促谈。我们支持一切有利于和谈的努力。
On the Middle East, Wang said it was vital to uphold the two-state solution. US President Donald Trump caused outrage earlier this month when he proposed that the US should take over the Gaza Strip and Gazan should be resettled elsewhere. Worldwide News reports. During a press conference on February 18th, Turkish President Erdogan emphasized that Ukraine's territorial integrity is non-negotiable for Turkey. Erdogan also offered Turkey as a potential venue for peace talks between Russia and the US, aligning with US President Trump's recent diplomatic efforts to end the conflict.
Son 3 yılda izlediğimiz aktif diplomasi dikkate alındığında Rusya ile Ukrayna ve Amerika arasında önümüzdeki dönemde gerçekleştirilmesi muhtemel görüşmeler için ülkemiz ideal bir ev sahibi olacak. Sayın Zelenski ile görüşmemde Türkiye'nin Ukrayna'nın toprak bütünlüğüne, egemenliğine ve bağımsızlığına olan kuvvetli desteğini ifade ettim.
In London, UK Defence Minister John Healey stressed the need for robust security guarantees for Ukraine.
We need a security guarantee for Ukraine, in Ukraine, that is capable of delivering what President Trump has pledged and says he wants, which is a durable peace. That requires an end to the Russian attack and no repeat of that in the future. The European countries have to play a leading part in that guarantee, but require a backstop from the US, because in the end, it is only the US that can provide the deterrence to Putin that will prevent him attacking again. And the detail of that is being developed.
He acknowledging Europe's role but highlighting that only the US can provide the deterrence needed to prevent further Russian aggression. Worldwide News Report. North Korea's foreign ministry said on February 18th that it will keep bolstering its nuclear force, denouncing a recent joint pledge by the United States, South Korea, and Japan for its denuclearization.
미국과 그 추종 세력들의 적대적 위협이 존재하는 한 우리에게 있어서 핵은 곧 평화이고 주권이며 국가 헌법이 부여한 정당 방위 수단이다.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, South Korean Foreign Minister Cho Tae-il, and Japanese Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya held talks on February 15th in Munich and issued a statement, reaffirming their commitment to North Korea's complete denuclearization. Pyeongchang's foreign ministry criticized the countries for pursuing an outdated, absurd plan, warning against seeking what it called foolish acts inciting collective hostility and conflicts. Worldwide News reports.